Sovereign Saurus here, welcome to a new video. So today we're going to talk about how much gold is too much and how much would be a good target to begin with. So first of all, you can see here a little bit of our fiat currency, the lovely British money. And I first of all would say that it's wise to have a little bit of that on hand to cover any unexpected bills, or if something was to happen to your income, to have a little bit of that sat in the bank or in a savings account, to cover a few months' expenses at least. I think that would be a wise move for most people before investing in metals. But obviously that is up to you, your money, your choice. So I think personally, I sleep better at night having 6 months worth of expenses just in the bank, just in case, prepare for a rainy day and all that, hope for the worst. Sorry, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And, hopefully that way it reduces the chances of being caught short. So beyond that, you might find it sensible to hold a little bit of cash just in case something happens to the bank. Maybe, it's something as simple as your bank account getting, put on hold. If you lose your cards or something, or if there's, an attempted fraud or a data breach or something, maybe for that reason the banks might, lock down briefly and you might just need to buy something. So good to have a bit of cash that you can access just in case. I'm not really prepping for, end of the world or anything. Crazy things have probably happened. So, no bad feelings to anyone who is preparing for that kind of thing. Could prove to be a wise move. But for me personally, I'm just not expecting that to be super likely. So for me, gold is just part of the long-term savings outside of fiat money, if you like. So I'm not expecting gold to make me rich or tons of money. I'm just expecting it to keep up with the purchasing power, and in the future it'll be able to give me back the same amount of fiat money or whatever we happen to be using, that I could maintain my purchasing power. So for me, that is why I'm into gold. And the amount of gold you would want to hold and you should aim for is going to vary depending on a few different things. So, like I say, for me personally, I first started out wanting to have 3 ounces, which would roughly be 3 months worth of living expenses at the time. And I figured if gold, on average, will keep up with inflation, if gold hits £2,000 or £3,000 an ounce, my living expenses are probably going to increase that much as well. And if I was to have a family, I might want to, increase that more. If you have just generally higher expenses, again, you might want to increase that more. If you have less expenses, then you might want to increase it less. If you've got a mortgage and things, then your basic bills might be higher. So lots of things to consider there. And in terms of the purchasing power, in theory, it will preserve it. So if I look back when I bought my first ounce under £1,000, my basic expenses were similar to the price of an ounce. And looking around now, everything's increased and gold's increased. So I'd roughly be about the same position if I was to liquidate. Now, you might sleep better if you have a year's worth of expenses in gold, and that was my next goal. Once I achieved that, hit the 12 ounces, I thought, well, if I get a 13th, then, that covers me for, an unexpected event perhaps, and just a little bit of an extra there. And then, beyond that, I just wanted to have more money outside of the pound, the fiat money, is part of my long-term savings. So you might be doing the same thing with silver. I have a little bit of silver, but ultimately I'm not stacking that too heavily anymore due to a few different things. But what would be too much gold? Now, for some people, if you are actively investing in other things, then you might be getting a better return than you are on your gold. So let's say you are starting out and you perhaps don't have a lot of money, and the money you do have you want to put into perhaps a new business or studying something or further education or whatever that might be, then it might make sense to put a little bit into gold but not too much at the moment, because you might be better focusing on those other areas in the shorter term. It's going to depend on the stage of life you're at and things like that. So for me personally, I have other investments which generate cash flow, capital gains, etc. And I'm quite happy with those. I am still putting money into those as well, reinvesting money and money that comes in as income. I pretty much reinvest the most of it. So I do buy some gold with cash flow as well, and just keep storing it away really. So too much gold would be if you are putting all your money into gold. To me, that would seem too much as a percentage, because I don't think it's good to have all your eggs in one basket. But maybe you know something I don't. Maybe you have other beliefs, and maybe for you that's the right decision. So whatever your decision, I think it should be your own, and you make your choice and you live with it, really, don't you? So if you have perhaps other investments that are doing better, and you are putting your money into gold at the cost of being able to invest elsewhere, that would probably be putting too much into gold as well. And if you're perhaps just about starting off, you're putting all your money into gold and have no savings, no spare cash. Literally, if your boiler breaks down or your car breaks down or something happens, you need to sell your gold, then that to me would probably be a bit too much. But again, that's up to you. Now, if you're starting to stack some serious ounces, maybe you've been doing it for a year, even just an ounce a month for 5, 6, 7 years can soon mount up. It might get to the point where you think, well, to be honest, I've got 100 ounces, and now what? You might be in that position. If you are, then give the rest of us some tips. But if you are getting up to that much, then perhaps there is an opportunity to trade it out and put it into another asset. Maybe start rebuilding the stack, or just piling up money to go elsewhere. So there are lots of considerations, and for me personally, I think if I saw a great property deal and I was sat on 100 ounces, then I wouldn't really hesitate to liquidate some. But I definitely want to have a couple of years worth of my expenses just sat in gold. If I was going to convert the gold into cash, let's say I've finished working, investing, and I just want to draw down on it, over the years to supplement pension or other incomes, then yeah, maybe I would liquidate, a little bit at a time as I need it. I don't think I would sell all the gold just to put it into cash for any particular reason. I can't see why I would want to do that. But, if I needed the money for an opportunity, then could be a good one to do. Also as well, if you've got a lot of personal debt or something like that, it could be, a good way of becoming debt-free, selling the stack, paying off all debts, and living happy ever after. Maybe you don't have any personal debt, maybe you do, but another consideration. So if you've got things like credit card debts, consumer debts, these sort of high interest debts, maybe as things start to come off fixed rates in the future, they end up on a higher rate. If you're paying like 15, 20, 30% on a low interest credit card, some of them are 60, 70% and more. It wouldn't make any sense to be sat on gold when you've got that kind of debt eating away at you, in my opinion. But, do the maths on that yourself and see what you think is the right decision. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think holding, more than 5 ounces is daft? Do you think more than 10 is, completely insane? Or do you think 30 ounces is not enough? Let me know, guys. Talk soon.